Hello lads and lasses, Sanythe here, and I'm here to tell you to easily get gold on every single gun in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now, using this method is usually going to get you each gun gold in about 2 matches of zombies, which in time will equate to about an hour and a half. The process is pretty much the same for all guns except for a select few. These guns being the GS45 pistol and the LR762 sniper, the SVD, and the shotguns. Now, these guns take a little bit longer than the others, but even so, they're not all that bad. For the GS45 and the LR, all you really have to do is just not pack punch them while you're getting your headshots, since they both turn into explosive rounds. If you go to round 26 with them and just leave the game after, you usually get them done in about 4 matches, and while that's longer than normal, the matches that you're playing are also usually a bit shorter, so it's not all too bad even so. Now, the GS45 also has an issue at the moment with the hipfire kills, where apparently zombies killed by the explosion of the bullets when it's pack punch won't count towards that hipfire challenge. So I recommend that you just hold on to the GS45 as a secondary while camo grinding another weapon, since it can be bought on both Terminus and Liberty Falls in spawn. Just don't pack punch it and only pull it out for the hipfire kills when there's an insta-kill, and eventually the challenge should finish just fine. You can get the rapid kills for the Mystic Gold challenge while it's packed. It seems that just the hipfire challenge is bugged out, so keep that in mind. Now, as for the SVD, when you pack punch it, it turns into a shotgun, which makes headshots a little more tedious due to the pellet spread, which is the same issue that shotguns have. So although the method I use is the same, it took an extra match of zombies for each of these guns. Now, there are also some camo challenges that require vermin or parasite kills. Keep in mind, parasites will only spawn on Terminus, they're the little flying bugs, and vermin will spawn on both, but they spawn more on Liberty Falls since they have their own bug rounds there. Now, the last thing before I go into the actual game is there are a few augments I recommend you do and don't have for some specific challenges, such as the Brain Rot and Napalm Burst kills. Now, for Brain Rot, I recommend that you use the Pheromone major augment and the Extension minor augment, so that the turned zombies doesn't just kill a bunch of your horde and then make the camo challenge take longer. Similarly with Napalm Burst, all I really recommend is that you just don't have Firebomb and Incendiary as the augments, because while they're amazing for clearing hordes together, the ammo mod kills themselves don't count towards camo progress, so it'll make it take a little longer for you. Now, lastly, for the Elemental Pop, I just recommend not buying it since the ammo mod procs will steal kills that, could be going towards camo challenge. But if you do end up getting it, then I recommend having the Citrus Focus major augment and then having like Cryo freeze on your gun so you don't end up losing kills to ammo mods, since Cryo won't kill, but it can help a little bit. Also, I just recommend avoiding ammo mods altogether unless camo challenges say otherwise. One last thing I nearly forgot to mention is for melee weapons, I definitely recommend Melee Macchiato with Vampiric Extraction for the major augment and Stick and Move for the minor augment. Any of the augments that specifically say punch won't apply to your melee weapons like knives or bats, which kinda sucks. I also preferred using Frenzied Guard over Ether Shroud just because then I didn't have to chase down the zombies and I wasn't going to be taking any damage with Frenzied active anyways. Now, the absolute last tip I can give you for camo grinding is to not make it a chore. Take breaks when you're feeling bored or whatever it may be. Don't burn yourself out in the game and kill your enjoyment of it. The camo grind is here, and you can finish it whenever you want to. Don't fall victim to the FOMO of it. I could have had Nebula before this if I just forced myself to play even more than I already did, but I didn't want to feel burnt out on zombies. I've been loving the game, and I hope to keep it that way. Now let's get into the actual method of this. Obviously, the best method for camo grinding is going to be the one where you're having the most fun, but that's not what this is about right now. This is the final gun I need to get gold, and as you can see, I have 0 kills with hitting zombies, so this is a good starting point for how much progress for critical kills can be made and how long it takes. Now I'll show what time it is during the beginning of the match, and at the end of the match, exfilling from it. Starting off, with most guns, I end up turning on the Rampage Inducer and training in the bowling alley, while making sure to keep the store shut so abominations don't come in and interrupt my training. Although in higher rounds, abominations will still spawn in when you leave the bowling alley, as long as you don't lead them back in, you should be fine with not having to deal with them. Although I've noticed a couple inconsistencies with the way they behave, so sometimes they'll just come in anyway, and it's a bit of a pain, but you can deal with them regardless. Also, make sure to melee the vending machine every now and then. There's a chance to get something useful from it, like salvage or ether tools. Now, I usually keep the Rampage Inducer on till around round 7 or 8. Then I turn the Rampage Inducer off. Then I take the right side route towards Speed Cola, and I make sure to get the free bonus points on this AC unit on the comic shop. Then I buy all the way up to the graveyard next to the church, and then I make sure to buy the LR off the wall, and if I have no points, I usually get Speed Cola too, because that helps a lot. And I know people might say to just get the DM10 from spawn since it's cheaper, but I've had an issue where it just doesn't apply the right blueprint, so I've just stuck with the LR this entire time. Next, I make my way to the top of the graveyard, I kill the last zombie, and while the round is flipping, I use the LR sniper and I shoot the cans off the fence to get the free Deadshot perk, since otherwise you gotta wait till round 25 to get it from Wonder Fizz. Now, I'm not going to lie and say I did this for every gun, but I did do it for a lot of them, including the pistols, the snipers, marksman rifles, LMGs, and obviously the ARs. It's by no means a necessity, but it helps a lot due to the damage increase on critical hits. Now, you're free to turn on the Rampage Inducer again. The only reason I turned it off was so I actually had time between rounds to do the Deadshot Easter egg, but I usually get up to around 10 by the church, and using it for Semtex or a frag, I blow up the zombie head located here, and after the loot finishes dropping, there should be a blue ether tool, which saves a ton of salvage. If you do it before round 10, it'll be a green ether tool, so I think it's worth waiting until round 10 to get your gun, the extra rarity, and save some salvage. From here, it's pretty much just playing the same as normal. I make sure to open this door in the bank so I can traverse to and from pack much easier without having to buy the bowling lane door, and I have the Rampage Inducer active for much faster spawns. Now, if you're around 15 plus, when you get a bug round, you can save and quit to load back into the game, and there's a chance that it's not going to be a bug round. It's not guaranteed, but there's a chance, and on normal rounds you get more headshots anyways, so it typically feels worth it. Now, on around round 25 to 27-ish is when I usually start the last of these methods, which is safe scumming. Now, the longest part of these matches and getting the headshots is usually the setup from like round 1 to 15, since you're only getting like a single horde each round, if even that, and by round 20 you have like maybe 400, 500 headshots. So, I ended up finding a way to skip that by safe scumming. I wouldn't recommend doing this safe scumming bit before round 25 since spawns aren't enough for it to be worth it, but around by round 25 to 27, you're getting like 50 to 70 zombie spawns per round, which means a lot more critical hits. Now, the way this works is you play to the end of a round and save a zombie, then save and quit. When you load back in, the game will load you in the beginning of that same round, respawning all the zombies you just killed, and you still keep all the progress towards the camo you did on the round when you save and quit. Now, you can only save and quit once per round, so you'll need to go to the next round, do the same thing again where you kill all the zombies, save one, and then save and quit, reload in, go to the next round, save and quit, the whole thing. And you kind of just keep doing that till around 31-ish. I recommend starting this at 27 though, because if you do it earlier, the game starts to feel a lot longer and more of a slog. So I think doing it from around 27 to 31 is probably your best. Now, you can obviously go beyond that, but the sheer amount of zombies and how much health the zombies have and all the manglers makes it feel a lot less worth, grinding your headshots on higher rounds. Now, let's go over the stats of a single match following this method. I started loading in at 8 a.m. and it's now 8:56 a.m. So we can round that up to about an hour of playtime. Now, in that single match, I got 1,656 headshots, which means that the next match we only need 344 to get Purple Tiger, then we can instantly start working on special camos and the gold camo, and we can get that all done before round 30. Worst case, if it's cutting it close, we can start safe scumming again to stay on the earlier rounds a little longer, but I don't think we're going to need to. Now, I actually have a camo tracker that I use open on my second monitor so that I can check what I need to do for the special camos on whatever gun I'm working on, alongside also just keeping track of my camo progress. Now, if you're curious, the site I use is on screen now, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So let's get into game 2 and do the exact same thing as we did before, and we'll unlock Purple Tiger at around 16, which means we can immediately start on the special camos. Now, for this gun, we need kills while it's blue rarity or higher and kills with brain rot. However, since I prestiged, I didn't have brain rot unlocked, so I had to leave the match and use an unlock token on it, which did add another few minutes of time to the game. However, loading back in from round 17, we were able to add brain rot, and since my gun was already blue rarity or higher, we just had to get 300 kills, and we got both those challenges done by round 22. So, then I swapped the brain rot to cryo freeze so that I could get more rapid kills without having them stolen by brain rot or anything like that. And since this is our final gun we're working on getting gold, it also means that as soon as we get a gold, we can start working on getting opal on it. So in order to prepare for that, I'm building the jet gun, and I'll have a video up tomorrow on the easiest way to get opal camos done super quickly and easily. I've been able to get multiple done per game, but for now, we're going to focus on gold. By just focusing getting fast kills, I was able to get gold on around 25. And overall, this method just feels the easiest for me, and while I'm sure just brute forcing it by Rampage Inducer to 30, immediately leaving, and then repeating might be slightly faster, it's also a lot more mentally draining in my opinion, and monotonous and boring, so I prefer using this method by a large margin. Now, once again, I'll have a video up either tomorrow or later today. Likely tomorrow, but maybe later today. We'll see. And it's going to be on how to easily grind out the opal camos you're going to need after finishing all the gold. Also, like and subscribe. Adios.